Okay, so Lee Daniels and Monique. So here's the backstory. Lee Daniels and Monique were friends. They worked on many projects together, movies. The biggest one being the movie called Precious, where Monique won an Oscar and all that. So, Monique went to Lee Daniels. Well, Lee Daniels went to Monique and said, "Will you do this movie? I can't pay you a lot." They're friends now, mind you. $50,000. That's all he could give her. She said, "Don't worry, I got you." That's her friend. She'll take the low payday because that's her friend. And the movie was a success, big hit. Lionsgate, a distributing company, was interested in the movie, so they went to Lee Daniels, the creator of the movie, and they bought the film. Monique had fulfilled her obligation already. She done the movie. She done press for the movie. I've seen her do press for the movie. That's how I found out about it. So she's done. Lionsgate comes in. They buy the movie. They go to Lee Daniels. And then they go to Monique and said, "Can you come back out and do more press?" She said, "No, I don't really want to," because she said, "I respectfully decline," is what she said. "I don't really want to, I'm done. I already did the movie, already did the press. I've done my part. I would rather spend this time with my family now that it's all over." And so then they get Oprah and Tyler Perry to go to Monique and say, "What is it going to take for you to come out? We will fly you out on my private plane. We'll give you the best hotel we can find," all that type of thing. She said, "I'd really rather spend this time with my family. No, thank you." And they called her husband, who is her manager, and said, "Well, we really want her to come out and do more press because she did such a good job the first time, to do the whole spiel." He said, "Well, is there a dollar figure attached to this?" And they don't pay actors for, nobody does. Because they do, but it's in your contract and your initial payment. So the initial $50,000 was for the press too. But she already did the press. Lionsgate wanted her to do more press. So the manager says, "Well, is there a dollar figure attached to it?" They said, "No, we don't pay people for press." And he said, "Okay, then like we said before, no thank you. We respectfully decline." And so now, fast forward, there is a show Lee Daniels had called Empire. And he's new to TV, but Monique is not. So he went to Monique, his friend, and said, "Will you help me with this TV thing? I got this role for you called Cookie on this show called Empire." She said, "Okay, I got you." And so he goes to the studio, and the studio says, "We're not working with her. She's difficult." They got the difficult thing because she wouldn't do the free press after her contract was over with Lee Daniels. Now, the way it works in Hollywood is once the big company comes and buys your movie, you have to go, well, they want you to go back out and do more press. She didn't want to, so they called her difficult. And so Lee Daniels goes to Monique and said, "Okay, I can't give you the role because they called you difficult, and I can't let you mess up my money because I got to get this on TV. So, sorry. And she was like, okay, I understand. I don't want to stand in front of your money, but why you let them call me difficult? So their relationship broke down there. Lee Daniels has been accused of being a shyster, being a sellout. And it has come out that, well, he is. He doesn't pay people. Even now that he has all this money, he still doesn't pay people. And so she recently did an interview on a YouTube channel called Comedy Hype. And, well, at least that's where I saw it. And she said this is universal something. Karma, basically. Coming back, because Lee Daniels is now losing all his shows. He got 2 shows, I think, on TV called Empire and Star, and they're both being pulled because they're bland and nobody watches anymore. So, is he experiencing karma? Is he experiencing payback for being such a horrible person to people he claimed was his friends, or using people? He really does use people. Tower. Your first card is the Tower. An abrupt end. Because I always kind of feel like it's not completely shattered, mind you. This is one thing in this card has broken. Like, it's just one little piece. So it's not completely shattered. He's not gone from Hollywood forever. Although I find it interesting, he always walks around with dark sunglasses on. I think his eyes are vacant and he doesn't want to show anybody, but that's just me. Eyes are vacant means you sold your soul. But it seems to me that he did the short-term gain but the long-term loss. Like, you lost your integrity for a short-term gain. So, the first card is Tower, the second card is Justice. So there is this is karma. The karmic card is the Wheel of Fortune. But this one is basically telling me an abrupt end to maintain balance. Justice card is about balance, or it's about legal. So, let's keep going. What crosses it is secret, inner knowledge. And 2 of Swords, inner conflict. An inner conflict. You did the long-term loss for the short-term gain. And the Hermit. That's isolation after the indecision. Temperance. Quid pro quo, give and take. Moderation. And the King of Swords. I'm not sure what his sign is, but this is Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. And the fear is 4 of Swords. He does fear that this is over, that, you know, oh my God, I'll never work again type of thing. But, I mean, he'll be fine. But reputationally, maybe not. There's your karma. So there is the Wheel of Fortune. And in the environment is the Death card. That is the major change. So there is indeed a changing of tide here. This is karma. She was right. Universal energy, or whatever she called it. I forget what she called it, but there's universal energy, what I think she called it. Behind that, bad news with the Page of Swords. So, clear painting to me. Four of Pentacles is your word of warning. Penny pinching, because things will get tight. I don't think he's going to be broke. I don't think he's destitute. I think he's probably smarter with his money because he's shrewd and stingy. And this is what this card is. This is also a shrewd, stingy person, because the Four of Pentacles is always depicting a person who clings to their money. And so this is that stinginess. That's what it is. Okay, clarification. Your word of warning is your current attitude towards money. If it's all you want, it's all you will ever have. Ever. Now, with that being said, if anything's happened to that money, money cannot save your money. And so you can pour all of your energy into getting things, but it will leave you in isolation because you have no support system. So clinging to that money will leave you in isolation. Your word of solace, the Four of Wands. People are still willing to embrace you. You have a name. You just have to work on that reputation part. Your outcome is wishful thinking with the Nine of Cups. So gluttony as well is what this card depicts. And then anxiety and unrest with the Nine of Swords. Short-term gain, long-term loss. Hope it was worth it. So, forewarned is forearmed. Now that you know, you can change. Because when you become aware, you become responsible. Change your outlook on those who have helped you get to where you are. Or in the end, all you will ever have is money.